I'm Aimee, and today we are talking about the 10 do's and don'ts when building your family tree. A lot of people are getting into genealogy, which is a great thing, and they are not quite sure how to begin. So I'm going to make it simple for you. These are my 10 most important things that I want people to remember when they begin their genealogy journey. Building a family tree is a lot of fun. I want to make sure you keep it that way. So let me start with number 1. My most important thing is gather all the information that you can right now. You never know how long people are going to be around that can give you the information that you need. So I am talking about photographs, letters, oral histories from your grandparents, your parents, your siblings, your aunts and uncles. Gather that information, gather their memories so that you can learn more about your family. And I would encourage you to pay attention to even the little things and jot them down or record your interviews so that you can use that information at a later date to help you maybe solve a mystery that you can't solve. Sometimes it's a kind of date, like they might remember, well, grandma was at my wedding and I don't really remember when she died, but I know she was at my wedding. Things like that. You want to keep that information in there because it may give you the clue that you need at a later date. I have videos on all of the things we're going to be talking about today, probably almost all of them at least. And so there's going to be a playlist at the end of the video where all of these videos will be found, as well as in the show notes down below the video. I'm going to put links to the various videos for the various things that we're going to be talking about today. Number 2, don't get overwhelmed. Please, please, please don't get overwhelmed. I hear that so often from people. They just get overwhelmed with all the paper, with all the information, with all of the details, and don't. It will make it not fun anymore. So don't get overwhelmed. Find a way to stay organized in whatever way works for you. And again, I have some videos that have some suggestions for you there as well. We obviously have been going digital, right? There's just so many digital resources available to us. But sometimes that doesn't work for you. And if paper is your thing, great. Put it down on paper. I don't care. Just find a way to be organized and don't get overwhelmed with it. And it'll all be good. All right, number 3. Find a place to build your tree. Again, you can do that on paper if that's what your jive is. That's great. Works for you. Awesome. There's lots of programs out there. Again, I have some videos about this topic as well. But there's lots of free programs out there that you can use on your computer. There are online programs that you have access to, some of which are free, some of which cost, but sometimes you can go into like a public library and get the ones that cost for free. So figure out what will work best for you. Do you need something you have access to all the time? Then you want it on your computer, or you want a program that you have access to on the internet. Do you really work better if you're writing things down on paper? Great, that works for you. Whatever works for you, find a way to keep yourself organized. Wherever you decide to build your tree, wherever, I don't care where it is, be sure you decide in the beginning to note where your sources have come from. What I mean by that is, I don't care if you write down next to the birth fact or in the details of the fact, every program has a place for you to put information like this. It can be like a technical source, or it can just be a little note, because grandma told me. I don't care, you will forget. You may think you won't, but you will. So make sure you write down all of the information that you're gathering, where you got it from, and I don't care how you do it, just make a note. It could be a marriage certificate, it could be, you get my point? Just write it down, type it in, put it there. Number 4, you do not have to spend a lot of money. And I really mean that. You don't even need to spend any money. You can do this for free. There are lots of free resources out there for you. And so don't feel like you have to sign up for newspapers.com and Ancestry. I do love Ancestry, but it's expensive. So don't start there. Start with something that's free. See if this is really something that's working for you. And then if you want to start spending more money on some of these programs later on, you can. If you don't want to, that's totally fine as well. I want to take a break here and ask you if this is of help, like it. That will tell YouTube that this is a good video and it's one worth promoting, which is of great help to me and I appreciate it. Now let's move on to our next one. As you're building your tree and you begin to look at records, always look at the image. And oftentimes there's more than one image. I can't tell you how often I see people that find one image, like on Ancestry, this happens all the time. They find the first image that Ancestry presents to them, but they don't look at the pages before and after and see if there's more to go with that image. So always look at the image. There's a couple of main reasons for this, and let me go over them because this is such an important thing. I want to make sure you get it. Please get it. The first reason that you always want to look at the image is, like I kind of mentioned before, you will get maybe more information than you're seeing in the indexed information that comes up when you first look at the source. The first thing that you see when you pull up a source is you'll see the information that they've indexed from it, meaning that somebody has gone through and looked at the source and said, okay, this is about so-and-so, and he was born on such and such a date in such and such a place, and whatever information that their indexing system is asking them for. But there's almost always more information on the record than you're seeing in the indexed information. So that's the first reason that you want to look at the image. The second reason that you want to look at the image is because it's going to help you to get to know your ancestor better. And isn't that a lot of the reason that you're doing this? You want to understand the people that have come before you, the sacrifices that they made for you to be where you are today, how tall they were, which you can find that information on a draft card. What color were their eyes? What color was their hair? Did they own a radio? All of this information can be in these records. How much money did they make last year? That can be in some of these records. So it really provides you a better window about the details that make your ancestors who they were. And then the last reason that I really encourage you to look at the source itself is it will help you to better determine whether this record really does pertain to your family. And along those lines, my next don't, number 6, don't accept all hints. You're going to see a lot of hints, and every one of the programs now has hints. So you can have those on MyHeritage, you can have them on Find My Past, Ancestry, Family Search. There's hints available in any of these programs now, but they do not all pertain to your person. So don't get in that trap of feeling like you are going to accept every one of those hints. It's not a good idea. You want to evaluate them carefully. And that is my next do. Number 7, use common sense. Common sense applies in every aspect of life, and particularly in genealogy. And the reason that this is so important is a lot of people will say, oh, that's my name, and that's about the right age, and so that must be my family. Well, look a little deeper. Where was the location? Where did this record occur? Is it in the location that your ancestor really lived? Does it fit in their timeline? You know, is it like maybe they lived in Missouri when they were born, but then they moved away? And now you find them when they're in their 20s living in Illinois. And yet you find this record when they're in their 30s back in Missouri. Well, it could be them. They could have moved back. But you want to kind of make sure that this is really your person. So use common sense. And the other thing that goes along with that is look for more than one record that may apply to your family. Because it's with multiple records that we kind of create the web that can kind of help prove whether or not this is really the right fact for your family. Was this really your George Stevenson who died in 1938? Or was this some other George Stevenson? And you're getting them confused. Number 8, please don't blindly accept other people's trees. I've done a video on this as well. Like I said, there's all these videos, but I see this so frequently where there's one tree like on Ancestry or some of these other programs, and somebody has accepted hints that maybe they shouldn't have accepted or something like that, and then other people accept that information, and these errors perpetuate themselves. Now, if you have a family member who was a really great genealogist and they worked hard on your family history for generations, that's different. But blindly accepting a genealogist research that you don't have confidence in, I have had mistakes in my tree, and I've been doing genealogy for 40 years. So a fresh set of eyes is never a bad thing. Don't just accept that other tree information. You can look at their tree, you can look at their sources, it can provide you clues, but be careful about that. Now, number 9 is a big do. Do keep learning. The genealogy industry is one that has been changing tremendously in the last decade. Even more so in the last 5 years. With technology advances and the increased interest in genealogy, more and more players are getting into the picture, and there are more and more records being digitized all the time, indexed all the time. Ancestry is constantly adding records, as are Find My Past and My Heritage and Family Search. They are constantly building their record bases. Cities and counties are adding more records online, as well as other countries. There's more and more information coming out there all the time. So stay abreast of what's going on. You can do that by watching my YouTube videos or other channels' YouTube videos. You can do that by looking in the help sections of the platforms that you like, whether you're on Ancestry or Family Search. Look at their help section. Look at what they have available for you. And then contact other people in your area that may be into genealogy. Most communities or larger communities have genealogy associations, and with Zoom, many of them are doing their meetings online. So you don't even have to live close by. So check that out. I would also note that Family Search has family history libraries all over the United States and really the world. They're much more plentiful in the United States, but they do exist all over the world, and you'll find them in church buildings of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But you can go online and you can see if there's a family history library near you. Now, the people that work those libraries are volunteers, but they're a wealth of information, and their libraries have a bunch of information that isn't available elsewhere, as well as programs like they have Ancestry there that you can use for free and things like that. So that's another great resource for you. And you know what? Learning is just a good thing. That old adage, the more you know you don't know, is always applicable, right? Learning is a great thing. It stimulates your brain, it helps you grow as a person, and you're going to be a better genealogist because of it. Now, finally, my last tip number 10, is another do, because we want more do's than don'ts, and that is to have fun. If you're not having fun, then it ain't worth it. Kind of along with the previous hint, if you're struggling, if you're hitting a brick wall, look for information, look for people that can help you. But just take it on in a manner that works for you. Don't get overwhelmed, and look at those records so that you can have that connection with your family member and enjoy it. It's a great day. So have a great day and enjoy your genealogy research. Family history is fun. And with that, I am going to leave you. So like this video if it's been of help to you. Throw some comments in there if you have other suggestions or things that you want to ask about, and I will answer as many of those as I can. The promised playlist is right here. My face right there will help you to subscribe. Click that. You can subscribe to the channel, and once you subscribe, that bell, if you click on that, when I release a new video, you'll get a notification. Have a great day.